And then we go into one of the most interesting part of the pitch, the questions. Because you remember that I told you, do they know what is actually Darya doing? And now we'll see the bomb dropping, one of the most dreaded questions for many entrepreneur and business people in the VR and AR world. Hi everyone, let's talk critique. Today we're gonna look at a pitch from Darya Yegorina from Clever Books at the VOOM 2018. It's gonna be a short pitch and those are the hardest. On top of that, at the end, we're gonna see 3 great questions that actually the jury comes with and we're gonna see how she will deal with it. So let's start.
She's using outdated and old-fashioned methods like books, blackboards, and a piece of chalk. What if there is a solution in the world that helps them to get excited about STEM? My name is Darya and I'm from company Clever Books. Our company, me and my team of 11 people, we create smart teaching and learning solutions empowered by augmented reality.
So a great start. Darya, after a short question introducing directly Clever Books. Me and my company of 11 people are creating augmented reality book for students. Nice. The only thing that I don't know is why she mentioned we will create, like if it's something that they're doing in the future. They have done a lot. Darya's been in many conferences all over the world. So I think they're doing already a lot. So why just say talk in the future instead of talking in the present? Besides, it's a very good start.
Businesses are affected by Industrial Revolution 4.0, whereabout education still remains in the analog age. So
the fourth revolution. So we know that it's coming and people that are in the AR, VR world are ready for this upcoming revolution. But isn't it confusing maybe for the jury? They might not know, and with such a short time, this might have just introduced some doubts in their head. What is exactly this fourth revolution? They might not know, so you might not assume certain things.
The way we teach the kids today is absolutely not relevant for their tomorrow. And think if you can help to disrupt the education. So we deliver the products.
Yeah. So then she said, and our education system is outdated. And this is basically the problem statement part. She mentioned the fourth revolution, and then right after, I would have immediately skipped to what is the problem statement. And while the world around us is changing, the way our kids are learning hasn't changed significantly in more than 100 years. And I would like to give you the opportunity to disrupt the educational system. And this is basically a great bridge to then what she's just now going to say.
That are well known for the kids, and we power them with the augmented reality technology. We currently have rolled out 2 products covering...
Wait. Now, do they know what augmented reality is and how is this thing actually work? I'm not sure. In a matter of few seconds, she says, we give this to the kids, and then she immediately going into the business talking about what they did, and we'll see right after. Really great achievement, but what are people there buying? Are you buying your achievement, or are they buying the products that are you giving and that the kids will have in their hands? So I'm not sure that they actually really understand the great things that Darya is doing. Let's keep on going and let's see then what are the achievements that she mentioned.
The STEM. Also, we are working on the cost-effective solutions and affordable for schools. Our products were test piloted also in the schools with the kids of special needs, like dyslexia, like ADHD and Down syndrome. And the facts show that actually technology empowers every kid with the necessary skills for the 21st century. So we are helping to deliver the skills of the 21st century and get the kids ready for the jobs of the future. So since January 2018, we have created indirect distribution in the US, in Middle East and Australia. I'm traveling the world in many conferences where I'm invited to deliver the message of how empower education with the augmented reality. And I'm here asking support for the Virgin Media to VOOM in every classroom.
Cool, brilliant.
So that's a pitch, very short, and she did a great job. You have to think that, wow, you cannot rely on slides, on any sort of support. So she went really smoothly towards the end, telling her story. And what was her focus? A lot of the focus was indeed on their achievement, the way they started distribution, the way and she also mentioned, indeed, to some extent, how those technology were empowering the kids with new skill that they will use on the workplace on the future. She missed a bit, in my opinion, what is basically she could have leveraged all the great talk that she gave, mentioning how this interest worldwide is growing and where week after week she's hopping from one country to the other, just explaining how AR is working and what are the great possibility for the future. So instead of talking about what they have done, showing how what they are creating is helpful for the community that is growing, and shifting instead the focus into this social change that is taking place. One last thing that she does, her call to action, and I'm here to ask for support to bring this in all the classroom. Now, the moment that you ask for support, what to some extent you kind of convey is neediness, and neediness is the killer of any pitch. This is the only thing that you shouldn't do, is that showing that you need them. What actually Darya is doing there is giving them a great opportunity to support this project that is going to be a success. So instead of asking for support, she could have mentioned something like, and I'm really excited and I would love to give you the opportunity to jump on board of this revolution. This would have felt like there was a partnership going on and that the train was going, and that this help would have just boosted what is going to happen anyway. And the reason for doing this is because people are more sensitive to the loss aversion than instead of a gaining of a benefit. If people have the perception that they're losing an opportunity, they will feel more attached and they will think twice before saying no. And then we go into one of the most interesting part of the pitch, the questions. Because you remember that I told you, do they know what is actually Daria doing? And now we'll see the bomb dropping, one of the most dreaded questions for many entrepreneur and business people in the VR and AR world. And she's gonna handle it in a great way.
Can you show us how it works?
Yeah, so I can show you how it works. So pretty much the augmented reality is like virtual reality, but it's more affordable and psychologically useful for the kids because kids do not go fully in the immersive.
I don't understand why she kind of like addressed this as kind of like an objection. They just asked how it was work. So it could have told a story of how kids were impressed when they got this new tool and how excited they were, instead of seems like a bit defensive.
Environment, they still control what's happening. So you can take my phone and you have to focus on the Africa, and then you have.
That's really creative and something that works perfectly. She had the map of the continent printed on her shirt, and directly with the phone, they can see the augmented reality countries, animals, and other details popping up in the mobile. So this is fantastic. It was a very easy to implement solution, and something that in this specific situation is just amazing. Unfortunately, not everyone that is in this business is able to leverage something like this, but thinking of printing them up directly on a t-shirt makes it very, very easy for them to really understand what is that clever book is making.
On your right, the menu,
Yep.
and you click and you can change. So obviously you see that from the top. But if it is a map of the world, because we have the product that is a map of the world, you see here only Africa, where we have all the countries. And the way the kids do that, if there is one device, teacher is showing that with one device. If it is the several devices, every kid can explore a different country at the same time. So we have shapes and geometry, And it's the building blocks that they create all together. They first they glue them together, they put them together, and then explore geometry. We have the workbook that is out there, and we're creating the apps, and we're on the way to cover STEM. And we have done a lot of research based on that. Do you like to try?
I saw.
Okay, so we have a lot of research based on that, and apart from our research, we're also partnering with UCD to create European-wide research to prove that our solutions, we do have the improvement that are curriculum-based. We're partnering with the institution who will help us to roll out the whole project and test.
She's very, very businesslike, a lot of details, and I'm not sure that they are actually so much interested in those rather than the story, especially because this is Virgin and it's really marketing opportunities for them. And business is important. I'm just not sure that this is the right balance.
And prove that they are curriculum-based and improve the efficiency, because augmented reality is something new, and we're on the way to see how it's going to work for the kids in the future.
What do you have in terms of any case studies or your understanding of how kids learn and how this particular application helps
Brilliant question.
retain knowledge?
Okay. Wait, as retain?
Or helps more engagement or more sustainability in terms of...
So, and now we move to the analytical question. You see, we got the first more straight to the practice and how does this gonna work, because we really didn't get it yet. And then we have the analytical question. He steps in and say, okay, but what kind of benefits the kid have? Legitimate question.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the schools that are piloting our solutions when they come out. We have the community of schools and teachers that are using our solution. They have testimonials on the website. That's one of the things. Plus, we have the whole information portal for everybody who wants to start using it. Podcasts, newsletters, and teachers already using our solutions in the classroom with the whole ideas. So if the school gets the augmented reality pack, which includes books, maps, like building blocks, T-shirts are used pretty much for like geography studying. So these, they also get the teacher guide with all the ideas of teachers who are already using. So our guide is updated every 3 months in order to get all the ideas on how to implement that in the classroom lessons and all that from the teachers who are using that. So we definitely have the case studies, and we have them on the rolling basis, like video interviews with the teachers who use our solutions too.
So what's your...
Was that the answer to that question? I don't know if it was misunderstood or if maybe those studies are not really finalized, so she couldn't provide any clear information. But this is a real shame. This is a real shame because she was doing so smoothly up to now. And that's, I think, was one of the weakest point, because one of the member asked, are there any study of how augmented reality is actually improving the way our kids are learning? And personally, I believe that she has hundreds of stories of kids getting in hand, and kids that are maybe at first disengaged, not interested, and the moment that you put in their hands something that they are familiar with, something new, they are then immediately engaged. She also mentioned about other important aspects like the collaboration. This is another thing, and the interactivity. So at the end, what she could have used is basically this, the learning pyramid. So there are different ways of learning, from a lecture to reading to audiovisual, and then if you go to the lower half, we have group discussion, practice by doing, and then you realize how we move into the lower quadrant the moment that we start using group discussion with kids with different mobile devices, and you start doing things because you collaborate with others on assembling pieces, like she mentioned, giving to an analytical question an analytical answer, and then showing some of the studies, some of the data that she got back about retention, engagement, would have been a great answer and a killer that I think could have been a much stronger argument to this kind of question that are legitimate, and we should all prepare for those. This is an example of how, in my opinion, she could have done that. And then we have the third question. The third question that is more like the bigger picture implementation. Also very nice and thoughtful.
Your plan for rolling this out to more schools, because teachers are amongst the most overworked people in the country. So how are you going to actually get them trained up on how it works and get them actually using it?
Okay, it depends on the country, pretty much. So we're partnering with associations in the US, and they are providing the webinars for the teachers where we are showcasing how to do that. We have free packs, free demo pack for the augmented reality, the starter for those who don't know what it is. We have the whole informational field and the blog and the index resources specifically for the topic, and teachers go there. We also have this partnered with the CPD programs, and those CPD, we pretty much do the workshops and show the teachers how to do that. Like the next one is going to be in July, and we're partnering with the global CPD organization, so they have teachers all different countries are coming in, and it's a marathon of 24 hours. So we're going to be joining some part, and then this will be as a recording shown to all other teachers, and we'll be providing obviously the test packages. We're doing also one-by-one communication, and also, like if it's US, we're contacting the districts, school districts. They are pretty much, asking us to provide the samples, check out, and then they recommend. If we talk about Middle East, so there we are mainly talking also to districts.
Wow, Darya really put a lot of work into this, and you really see how the training and the workshop are organized in a region specifics, and they really care about the implementation side of this new technology. I personally think that she could have focused on a couple of highlights and say more something on the like, indeed, we really believe that the impact of this new technology is mostly and dependent is in the hands of the teacher. And this is why we designed this training like this, and we are going to have this workshop like that. Have you seen the reaction from this teacher? And are very positive, and we have heard in just 1 week that they are able to step in the classroom, engage the student in a totally different way, and start teaching using our products. So this in a way kind of like acknowledge the problem, show what was the solution without getting lost into many details, and then going back on what was the effect of that solution that Darya so thoughtfully implemented. So, what to say? A really nice pitch. It's not easy to do that without any visual support, and especially under a lot of pressure. You really can see that Dara has a lot of experience as a speaker, hopping on from one conference to the other. On the other hand, she was really businesslike, and I would say we know that people buy based on emotions, and bringing a bit more of those and also addressing the analytical question in a more focused way, I think could have made a bigger impact. So that's it for today. Hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more analysis on VR talks at conferences or pitches. And if you have your own talk, just send it over. I'll be more than happy to give it a look. See you next time.